Hello and welcome to Bronze Tier Pros, where we talk PC gaming, geek news, and this week we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, the Battle Royale. I am Barrett, and with me is the Jordan.
The Jordan. I like it. That can stick.
The Jordan.
Yep. The
Perfect,
one and only.
I mean, I believe that's what they say you are. You are the only person in the world named Jordan.
Yeah. Why do you think they've named rivers and countries and cities after me?
It's a good question. Probably
They're
because
all
you're
like,
so famous.
he's gonna be. I can't. We talked about the famous word last week, so. But I don't even know where I was going with this. Go ahead. What are we talking about this week?
Wow, this is a great intro, everyone. Yep. Okay. Now, so the Jordan is he's taking a little hiatus, so we're actually recording this back to back from our last episode. But for you all, it's going to be a week apart.
Yeah. I gotta go out of state actually for my sister's wedding, so I'll be gone when we normally record. So I'll take the blame for this one.
That's fine. It just means we'll have kind of a different news section a little bit.
Yep.
And we probably won't cover games coming up because they're not out, so we don't really have anything to add. So
Yeah, we were thinking about just skipping, but we're like, it's too soon. We're too early on to like just skip one. So
plus, I mean, why skip when we could just record back to back?
that's true. Twice the work in a shorter amount of time. I like it.
Yes. So there is some news that I do want to cover because it's all related to battle royales. I don't know how relevant this will be actually when this comes out, but Fortnite is doing like an endgame style event that lets you fight Thanos with Avengers weapons. So.
That's a good format. I mean, I know they kind of did one where if you get the glove, you are Thanos, and everyone tries to kill you to get the glove and be the last one standing. I know that they've done that type of thing before.
And this one apparently everyone's going to start with a little bit of different loot, and if Thanos gets any of the stones, he basically gets his special abilities from that. So
that actually does sound pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I'm not a huge Fortnite fan, but they're pretty innovative about it.
Yeah, we're not super into the Fortnite, but they're tying into Avengers is just kind of a fascinating thing. So
it's a great idea. Everyone, the Avengers, is so hyped up right now. Just makes sense.
Yeah. But another story that's kind of come out is apparently Fortnite's success has spurred a brutal crunch at Epic, is what employees are saying. Some of the employees they're all kind of working overtime to keep up on the game, to keep patching it, to keep making content, and some of them are up to like 70 to 100-hour weeks.
Ooh, calm down. That's too many hours.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, apparently the company does give them like unlimited time off, but it's impossible for anyone to take time off because the workload just falls to everyone who didn't take time off, and no one wants to do that.
Yep.
To their fellow employees.
Well, unless you work at a low-paying job, then everyone wants to do that. But I'm assuming they get paid pretty well, so.
Yeah. That's a good point. When you're working retail or anything like that, everyone's
like, hey, this person called out. You want to work that shift? No, bye.
Yeah. So
that's just
it'll be interesting. I'm hoping that they hire more staff or they kind of change that because that just shouldn't be the working conditions.
No, that's just it. That can't be a normal, regular thing that happens. It's just not okay, in my opinion.
Yeah, but apparently that's not the only cost here, because also the new Titanfall plans are being pushed back, so Respawn can focus on Apex Legends. Yeah, they're the only ones who they're EA's only good studio anymore. It seems.
We'll determine that after the Star Wars game comes out.
That's a good point. I actually saw a funny tweet the other day, and someone's like, Respawn's really good at making competitive multiplayer style games. Let's give them a Star Wars single player game. And BioWare, who's really good at single player games, let's give them an Anthem style multiplayer game. And they're like, what is happening at EA? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I remember you actually sent that to me, and I had to laugh. Even though I was at work, I had to. I giggled a little bit, got weird looks, but it was fine.
It was really funny. I am like, yeah, what is happening? But I'm a little disappointed. I'm not too surprised by this. In fact, I'm not surprised in any way. But it sucks because Titanfall 3. It's not coming out soon, but if it gets pushed back 6 months, then it's not coming for probably another 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, which is a shame. It's been a few years since Titanfall 2 came out already, so.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of a break between Titanfall 1 and 2, so.
Yeah. Some people would say, oh, it'd be worth the wait, better than to rush it all, and, making people take shortcuts, stuff like that, so. I can see both points.
If Apex keeps doing well, is it just gonna totally push Titanfall away from them and they just stop making them because they're only working on Battle Royale?
I hope not. I like Titanfall.
It's kind of how I felt what happened to Blizzard back in the days when they were doing their World of Warcraft. Like, they just kind of stopped doing anything but World of Warcraft.
Yeah. People get hung up on, oh, this is working. Let's just focus on this and not develop anything new.
But anyway, our main topic this week is we're talking about everyone's favorite or least favorite topic in gaming is pretty much battle royales. So
it's so big right now. It's been big for a few years.
Yeah, it definitely took off. We'll go into the history of it, but right now, just in case I don't know what you've been living under or why you're listening to this podcast if you don't know what a battle royale is, but if you're a PC gamer who has magically avoided knowing what the word Fortnite meant,
or even any game for that matter,
yeah,
it's on the mobile, isn't it, and all that.
It's on everything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just assuming that you've never played a game in your. I have no idea how you live this life, but. Essentially, Battle Royale is kind of broken up into some main things. It's a giant map where, it has different environments that you can go to. The whole game mode is essentially you want to be the last man or last squad standing. The level shrinks over time to force you to fight in a smaller Hunger Games style thing. You start with nothing or some very basic weapon, and then you find random loots across the map. And then typically each of the games have some special thing that set them apart, like, maybe a fantasy aspect or a building aspect or a realistic kind of thing. So that's the rundown if you lived under the rock and essentially had no clue what a battle royale was.
Yeah, most people didn't know what a battle royale was until I guess probably like PUBG or H1Z1, but little did they know there's a lot more history to it.
It's very, very true. So, I found this neat little chart of a brief history of Battle Royale games. So,
very helpful.
Prior to 2011, games were, there was just kind of a last man standing in some games. Counter-Strike's a big one. SOCOM did it. Unreal Tournament, So that kind of idea was around for a while. And then around March 2012, Hunger Games film is released, and interest in Battle Royale as a gaming genre was kind of born from that. And before it became a worldwide phenomenon, Minecraft, which is the earliest known of the Battle Royale modes, released a Hunger Games style private server kind of thing. And it became pretty popular. They started making games like Arma 2 and DayZ, which are essentially kind of a survival-filled game where you have to scrounge for supplies and weapons and gear while you fight to survive. And then they started making mods, one called Hunger Games Z, which is a DayZ one, which started that Battle Royale kind of thing. And then like some Survivor games and stuff like that. And then in September 2012, Battle Royale is announced on Reddit, which is DayZ Battle Royale, which is more commonly known as Player Unknown under the username. And so he started making mods for DayZ and Arma that honestly became more popular than the game.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, so then they made Rust, which is a DayZ-inspired Arma 2 mod, which was made by Facepunch Studios. And they officially released that, and it's a mixture of DayZ and Minecraft, and yeah, it'll go on. Basically, went on to sell about 5 million copies. So
Not bad.
yeah, so Rust was kind of one of the first ones in. And then PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale mod for Arma 3 is released, and that game would become more popular than Arma 3.
Not surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of like tower defenses in StarCraft. Like, they were almost more popular than the game itself.
Yeah.
And then in January 2015, Daybreak Studios hires essentially some of the people who made the Battle Royale, and they make H1Z1. Yeah, the problem is the game suffers a lot of technical problems, but it still launches on that. And then in March, which is, it's a little bit controversial, the PlayerUnknown Battleground PUBG game, because they made it with Epic, and so Epic saw what they were doing, and they tried to sue them because essentially they're like, well, they copied us because they worked on our game.
Yeah.
Because not everyone knows, but Fortnite actually wasn't planned to be a Battle Royale.
No, it was originally supposed to be just a survival exploration type.
Yeah, it was a zombie survival
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And essentially PUBG comes out, and it takes the world by storm, and it sells 30 million copies, sets Steam records for how many people are playing it. It dominates Twitch, and that came out in March. The game was super buggy.
Yeah, but it was better than anything else out there.
It's true. And then September 2017, Fortnite is released, and they go with the free-to-play model, which is kind of a big deal. Yeah, and then Fortnite essentially just goes into record-breaking success, and they release it on all the platforms, and honestly, it just takes off and makes like $100 million per month. It's insane.
So much money.
3.4 million concurrent players at some points. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of what led us up to here. But this isn't really the first time that something like this has happened. Actually, it's definitely not the first time. There's usually like one standout game that kind of becomes a standard across games. One of the earlier ones I remember is Capture the Flag. Like, that used to be, there was its own game that just was only Capture the Flag. That's all you could do. And then game developers are like, well, I'm going to add a Capture the Flag in my game, and everyone was all upset. They're like, oh, you're just copying this other game that does Capture the Flag. And now, no one bats an eye if you have Capture the Flag in your game.
Yeah,
especially like Halo. Yeah, Halo basically made Capture the Flag amazing. So
yeah, and I can remember just sitting on the couch, 3 other buddies playing online. You got, or maybe it's a LAN party, a bunch of people, and it's just Capture the Flag. That's it. You just keep playing that for hours and hours, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting because it started, I believe it started as like a custom map in one of the earlier games, like either Counter-Strike or Half-Life or something like that, and kind of became its own popular thing. And the same thing happened with MOBAs, which are near and dear to our hearts. Started out as a Warcraft 3 mod, Dota itself, and
Defense of the Ancients.
Yeah, after, golly, it was like that for years and years, and then you started seeing some companies go, well, what about that Dota thing?
Yeah.
Well, by companies, actually, the two main people that made it kind of split off and did their own thing. There was Heroes of New Earth that came out, and that was essentially a gritty Dota, and it cost. I mean, they definitely went with the paid subscription model. $40. You had to buy it; it wasn't free. And they just would release Heroes, but League of Legends came out for free, and it was just a lighter game that could run on anything.
Yeah, you could run that on a potato.
Yeah, and that was one of the people that originally made the Dota mod, made League of Legends, and that it blew up and it dominated. And then Ice Frog got it, joined Steam/Valve,
yep,
and released Dota 2. And that's kind of where we're at. MOBAs have died down quite a bit.
Yeah, there's still a bunch though. I mean, you got Smite still up and kicking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, that one's dying.
Yeah, that was pretty dead. Those are the main ones that I can think of, or at least that I play.
Yeah, but it's just kind of interesting that the custom game mode spawning essentially a new game genre entirely.
Yep.
Yeah, so that kind of leaves us to the state of battle royales right now, and the problem that I think everyone who doesn't play battle royales is having is people just won't shut up about battle royales.
You're not wrong.
Not to be rude, but I'll read these gaming articles and I'll watch these videos, and they're like, this game's coming out and they aren't putting a battle royale in it, and I'm like, and like, who cares?
It's Toy Story. Why is there a battle royale needed in there?
It feels that ridiculous though, because like Battlefield 5, they're like, oh, it's not going to launch with a battle royale at start, and I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
And then people were upset that Borderlands 3 announced that it's not having a battle royale, and I'm like, what?
It's
Why
Borderlands
on Earth?
3. It shouldn't need a battle royale mode.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's not only these news organizations, but it drives me nuts that like, oh, it's not going to be popular as a battle royale. That's not true at all. I don't know. What have you been thinking about battle royales?
I like the concept of it. I love the concept. I mean, you start off with nothing. You pick up stuff as you go. You can move as a squad or by yourself or whatever, depending on which mode of game you're playing. You just fight to the end, and it gets smaller and smaller, and it's great. But then I play it about, you do that about 100 times, and you're like, I'm just done with it. I mean, it's just all luck. And if you get a good gun or not, you could go last till the last like 2 or 3 and not find anyone or find anything, and it's a little annoying. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not very good at them to begin with, but I don't know. They just get old fast to me.
Yeah, and I mean that's fair. I definitely understand the appeal of like being able to kind of jump in and then jump out of games.
Yeah, very casual.
Yeah,
it's very good for casual.
Plus, if you lose, well, I mean, this isn't necessarily true anymore, but you just go and you find a new game right away. You're not like out.
Yeah, well, if you're doing solos, I mean, that's easy. Just I died. Next one. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, you're probably in another game. And it's also very streamer friendly because it's so fast paced. It can be so fast paced all the time. You're like, oh, I didn't get lucky with this, or oh, let's land here. We're gonna fight nonstop, or it's just very.
Yeah, and there seems to just be a lot you can do with this genre. Like, apparently, there's a mage-based battle royale coming out, and like a medieval time thing, and it looks pretty cool. It's kind of a shame that it's a battle royale because it looks like it would have been a good RPG kind of thing. But
yeah,
some of them. Oh man, what's the Smite one's called? We have a friend who loves that game.
Oh,
Realm Royale.
Realm Royale. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Pockets loves that.
Essentially, I mean, it's just kind of exactly like Fortnite, but you have a mount. It's more fantasy and class based, and there's a forge that you can essentially make weapons, and if you get knocked down, you turn into a chicken or something like that, and you run around, and then you'll respawn if they can't finish you off.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very high res though. High res likes to just I feel like they just kind of copy whatever is popular at the time. I mean, they did it for Overwatch with their what was the name of that game?
Yeah, I remember that one
I
wasn't very
mean,
good.
they did it with the MOBA, except they made it the gods, which is a very interesting concept of it, which I liked.
Yeah, Smite feels pretty different. I would say that it's definitely
That's
more
more of its own.
successful.
Yeah, that's why the most successful of their games that I've known of, at least. But I haven't even played Realm Royale, basically because I got burnt out on Battle Royales.
That's fair. Yeah. So I mean, Apex Legends broke Fortnite's most popular streaming thing when it came out in February, but it actually it seems like it's dying down a little. One of the reports I saw said that essentially Apex Legends streaming on Twitch went down by like 50 to 70%.
Whew, that's quite a lot.
I mean, it was really high because it was new and popular, but it kind
Yeah,
of fell very sharply where Fortnite just kind of maintains its own level. So
yeah.
that's kind of an interesting thought too.
It could have just been like the hype train died down type of thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Apex definitely takes a different approach, which honestly I like better. But yeah, it's kind of these team revive kind of things are coming in, more squad focus instead of solo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't look like it honestly doesn't look like battle royales are slowing down at all. In fact, it seems like they're almost getting more popular.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, it happens. It could be just a phase. I mean, but yet again, it's been a phase for a few years, so it's kind of hard to tell which direction it's going to go.
It'll be a phase. Something new will eventually take its place.
Yeah, I believe that.
For
I hope
sure.
it's
But
soon.
yeah, the battle royale is it's a fascinating thing because it seems like we're kind of taking a step back because MOBAs are kind of known to be you can't really leave until it's done. You're in it a
Yeah,
half hour to an hour easy every time. Where you could play 3 rounds of Fortnite in like a half hour or
yeah,
less if you're bad. You know.
yep.
Yeah. That's. I mean, honestly, that's pretty much all I got for that. Where do you think the next battle royale is going to be?
The next battle royale, I hope it's more. If it keeps going, I hope it turns into more of a melee slash like medieval times with bow and arrows and stuff.
Well, I
Because
mean, For
that's
Honor sort of tried to do that.
kind of. Um, I don't know. I just prefer. I'm a terrible aim, so I think it'd be more fun to do that. But it would be very hard to put that to good use. So I don't think that's going to actually happen. Um, Maybe one in like space where you have to use a jetpack to move around, so it's not just on a 2D plane, or not. Yeah, on just like
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get
know.
what you're saying.
You could, yeah,
On a two
it'd be
axis
very
instead of
yeah,
3 axis kind of thing.
that'd be very interesting to try and develop though. So it's very hard to tell. I kind of hope battle royales are just done in general. I'm just kind of tired of them in general. But I mean, if they're selling, there's no reason for it to stop.
Not that Battlefield 5 released without its complete controversy of people being pissed off at them. But that one had a battle royale, and honestly, it's not that successful of battle royale. It's just okay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's like, oh, people want to do more battle royale games, but it's like, I don't think you're going to topple over Fortnite or Apex at this point. Like, I haven't heard any hype
Apex came
about
out
it.
of nowhere, though. I mean, that's the
That's
problem.
true.
Is it seems like you can.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a big risk because if that game doesn't do well, you just put a lot of money into that most likely.
Yeah, but I think even high res is Royale game makes them a ton of money.
Yeah, well, all new games are free. High res is basically like, oh, pay for cosmetics or for certain heroes and
Season
stuff
passes.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're still in. MOBAs lasted a while longer, and everyone was making MOBAs, and then League started to die down with Fortnite kind of taking over. So I'm sure something will come by that way, but
as long as Dota never dies.
well, I mean, people still play Team Fortress 2, and that game is just old.
That's true.
It was one of my favorites back in the day. I'd collect my hats, but yeah, I kind of feel like there's some seeds for a new game modes that might give Battle Royale a run for its money. I know there's one that we both played in Dota Chess.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean it's if you're not familiar with what Dota Chess is, it's a custom game for, of course, Dota 2, which is free to play. And in the Dota Chess game, you essentially get these pieces that you put on a chessboard. There's no actual chess really involved, but you get pieces, and everything has like classes, and you get bonuses if you have enough of that class, and you put them on the board, and then it takes turns fighting the other players, and then as you win, you progress and get gold and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. If you lose against the other player, your courier, or I guess your person that you control, takes damage, and once your health hits 0, you're out of the game. So it's very nice. It's very casual, although people don't take it very casually.
Yeah, even if you don't take it casually, there's definitely you'll play it and you'll have a little bit of downtime while they fight, and you can scout out your enemies, or you can do something else in the background.
Yeah, we have some friends that play that game a lot while they're watching their kids, type of thing. So it's nice. Yeah, but there's a lot of other ways it could go. I mean, there's a lot of upcoming type of game concepts that a lot of people are begging for more of. Like the Nemesis system, if you ever played like Middle Earth. I know a lot of people love that Nemesis system where you beat them, they become your Nemesis, or you die to them, type of thing. They get stronger the next time you meet them, and I know that's pretty popular and wanted.
Yeah, that's definitely seems to be a current trend on single player games, is the like less forgiving Dark Souls style, but dynamic enemies kind of thing.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are also wanting better combat systems. Like, did you ever play Absolver?
I did not.
Well, it's kind of like For Honor, I guess, but it's very. I don't even know how you. It's literally just you get to create how your person fights. Like you get to create what moves it uses and what type of stance and everything. So that's just kind of. But also, what some people are wanting. I know some people want things like more co-op horror games and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to say which one's going to become the big next thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of trends in the industry that the Call of Duty Halo style is super popular. It seems to be definitely transitioning to mainly multiplayer though nowadays.
Yeah, unfortunately, the single player is dying, which is a darn shame. I played a bunch of single player offline games. When I was little, I didn't have any siblings really to play video games with, and I didn't have internet really, so it was just those single player games were just so fun and played anytime.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what takes off. The Hearthstones had their day in the light, and
It's true.
I imagine that it's going to keep going to be probably like a really quick, high action, low time investment game. I don't know how they're going to do that past Fortnite, but something competitive like that will probably take over.
But yeah, you're right though. The very you don't have to pay attention for that long and just I died, move on to the next one type of thing. Hide it. Just constant action type of thing. That seems to be where the industry's going.
game times are shorter and shorter, kind of thing. So
yeah, people don't want to wait the full 30 minutes to an hour, like you said, for a game of Dota or a League or whatever. And I can kind of understand that, but
it makes sense. I think they'll always have their place, but yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens here. Maybe the mobile games will keep on the rise because that's part of the reason why PUBG and Fortnite are so popular is people play them on their phones all the time.
Yeah, but those people are below the console peasants. I mean, that's way down.
Wow.
Just saying.
So much judgment.
We're all thinking it. I'm just the one that said it.
So I guess you have Master Race PC, console peasants, and then
cats.
Peasants?
And then something else that's bad. And then maybe mobile games.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, but yeah, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? Like, if any of the listeners do you play Fortnite? Is Fortnite your jam?
Yeah,
do you not publicly admit
what's keeping you? Yeah, if you're still playing Fortnite, what keeps you around? What is it that drives you to keep going back to it? I'm really curious because I can't. It's not for me, so I'm just curious of why you like it so much.
It's true. Yeah. Always down for that opinion, really.
Do you have anything else really to add? I've kind of said.
No, that's kind of the state of battle royales and kind of where they came from. So there's not a whole lot else there.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, what are you going to be playing while I'm gone?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of a rough weekend.
You'll be alright.
Not just because you're gone, just because I got some birthday parties to go to and other weekend events that week.
Mr. Popular over here.
No, and then the next week is all the higher ups are coming into work, and so almost every night that week I'll be MIA.
Unfortunate.
So essentially that week I'm going to be playing almost no games, but if I have time. I'll probably. I honestly don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably honestly be playing my Switch. I'll probably bring with me for the plane ride and everything because I can't bring my computer. Probably playing a little bit of Mario Odyssey again. Maybe some Super Smash. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Definitely good titles. Yeah, I'm pretty depressed about that upcoming week. It's just going to be a frenzy of not a fun week. So,
well, I wish you the best of luck. I'll be throwing things at you when I walk by. So keep your spirits up.
Well, that's good. I won't be around because I'll be in literal blocks of meetings. But yeah.
It'll be fine. There'll just be random things on your desk. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine. No, I don't have any other plans that week for games. I still need to finish Banjo-Tooie, and I'll probably try to make some time for it while you're out of town.
It's a good time, too. It's always...
And hopefully by this point, I've said that I'm going to play Overwatch every week. I haven't. And hopefully by this point I have. But
only one way to find out. Have to tune in next week.
Yeah, that's future Barrett's problem.
Yeah, well, if you don't have anything else, I just want to thank everyone for listening. And if you liked it, share with a friend or leave a great review. And if you hated it, blame it on Trump. I mean, everyone else blames him for everything, so I figured, why not start myself?
Yeah, and if you like Trump, you can blame it on Hillary, because it's probably her fault then. I don't know.
Obviously. I mean, if it's one or the other, if you like Trump, then obviously we're not blaming Trump. If you don't like Trump, then we are. So it works out both ways. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks, Obama.
Goodbye.
Obama doesn't listen, by the way. He absolutely doesn't care.
You don't know that, alright? But anyways, thanks for listening.
All right, bye.